Yeah, 5 years. Wow. Steve said on the phone the other week, 5 years since I first came here. And I do remember it well. To be fair, Steve's given me each August off. Isn't that right? Fantastic. But it's always been a joy and a pleasure and an honour to come here. I think I've always said to you that I think the work that God's doing in this place is awesome and it is significant. And to come here and to sense the presence of God in the way that I do, and to see the way that God moves here in the way that He does, and to meet the caliber of people who are here and the people that you are, I mean, really, it's just a great honour to come here. And I'm sure that anyone else who comes here in whatever capacity has that same sense. So thank you very much indeed for that, and I do appreciate all your love and support over those 5 years. And I look forward to seeing what God's going to do in the future, what God has for you. You know, there are some times where you feel as though, you know, times of transition, sometimes you feel as though you need to have a change or you need to see a breakthrough, don't you? You know, sometimes we feel that in our lives as individuals, and sometimes we see that in the church. And sometimes it's bigger than that, and we don't quite see the big picture because what we're so focused on our little bit of it, aren't we? We've done one of those Rubik's Cube things. I never did. I tried one once and I thought it was a sad life. You know. Probably because I was really admitting the fact I'd never be able to work one out on a month of Sunday, so I didn't bother wasting the time. There's those people who are smart aleck, they walk into your classroom and they just pick up and just go click, click, click. And you think, oh yeah. They are definitely a sad life. And you look at all these little squares of different colours and they're all mixed up and somehow it's all got to come together. Yeah, and you wonder how it's going to come together. And you think, when's it going to come together? And 6 hours later, you're still struggling to get that last one in place. And when we look at the bigger picture of what God's doing, not just here, but across the city and across the region and even across the country sometimes, we wonder what's going on and how it's all going to work out. And we get a sense something's happening and we think that's going to be it. And then we think we're nearly there and then we get frustrated because we find it's not quite worked out the way we thought it was and that didn't line up with that one. Ever been there? Sometimes it feels like that. And then all of a sudden, click, the picture emerges. I think we're in that time. Yeah. To be honest with you, I think somehow, in spite of our inability to see the bigger picture, God's putting things together. Yeah. And I think that it's for some it's taken years and we've wondered for why, when's it going to happen, how's it going to happen, what's it going to look like, and then suddenly click. I think we're in that sort of breakthrough time, to be honest with you. So while people outside tend to be more pessimistic as time goes on, I have to say that in Jesus Christ we have the best reason possible to not only be optimistic, but also full of faith. Because optimists aren't always right. Sometimes pessimists are right. Yeah? The best thing to be is a realist. Because at the end of the day, God's putting things together. I just mentioned that verse earlier on, Steve, about the kingdom. God is about kingdom. We see things from our perspective. You see things from the perspective of Bootle Christian Fellowship, Elim. Different people see things from their perspective. God just sees kingdom. I've said in the past, in his earthly ministry, Jesus only once talked about church. I'll build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. He didn't talk much about church. He talked about kingdom. Yeah? And kingdom is where the king rules and reigns because of the lives of the people. And we sometimes have to see bigger than just our own local self-interest bits and recognise that there is one king who has sole right to be on the throne and to dictate your direction to our lives and to what he's doing, okay? Because it's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords we do business with. Isn't that correct? And sometimes we have to lay aside our agendas and our pettinesses because we are petty. We are petty. We're all petty. At some level or other, I'm petty in my life. And at some point or other, you're petty. And we trip over petty things, which is sad, isn't it? Because we need to see the bigger picture. I wonder, prize for anyone who knows what the first message was that I ever spoke on when I came here 5 years ago. You know, a prize? Today's message. Well, do you know, that's fantastic. But you're wrong. Alright, turn to 1 Samuel chapter 30. 1 Samuel chapter 30. No? You don't even win a coconut, Steve. You don't even look like a coconut, Steve.
Thanks, Ron.
You're welcome. What was that? I knew there was something different about you. I thought you might have had a tie on, but no. Silly me. Silly me. Now, you may forget today's message, but I'm sure you'll remember the tie. And I was thinking about this when Steve said about 5 years. I don't have messages and have dates on them, and neither do I normally give the same message, but it's interesting, it just came back to me. It says this, I'm going to read, it's a bit of a lengthy passage, and I do apologise for that, but I'll get through it as quickly as I can, so you'll need to keep up. It says, David and his men reached Ziklag on the 3rd day. Now the Amalekites had raided the Negev and Ziklag. They had attacked Ziklag and burned it, and had taken captive the women and all who were in it, both young and old. They killed none of them, but carried them off as they went on their way. When David and his men came to Ziklag, they found it destroyed by fire, and their wives and sons and daughters taken captive. So David and his men wept aloud until they had no strength left to weep. David's 2 wives had been captured, Ahinoam of Jezreel and Abigail, the widow of Nabal of Carmel. David was greatly distressed because the men were talking of stoning him. Each one was bitter in spirit because of his sons and daughters. But David found strength in the Lord his God. Then David said to Abiathar the priest, the son of Ahimelech, bring me the ephod. Abiathar brought it to him, and David inquired of the Lord, shall I pursue this raiding party? Will I overtake them? Pursue them, he answered. You will certainly overtake them and succeed in the rescue. David and the 600 men with him came to the Besor ravine, where some stayed behind, for 200 men were too exhausted to cross the ravine. But David and 400 men continued the pursuit. They found an Egyptian in a field and brought him to David. They gave him water to drink and food to eat. Part of a cake of pressed figs and 2 cakes of raisins, he ate and was revived, for he had not eaten any food or drunk any water for 3 days and 3 nights. David asked him, to whom do you belong and where do you come from? He said, I'm an Egyptian, the slave of an Amalekite. My master abandoned me when I became ill 3 days ago. We raided the Negev and the Kerethites and the territory belonging to Judah and the Negev of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag. David asked him, can you lead me down to this raiding party? He answered, swear to me before God that you will not kill me or hand me over to my master, and I will take you down to them. He led David down, and there they were scattered over the countryside, eating, drinking, and reveling, because of the great amount of plunder they had taken from the land of the Philistines and from Judah. David fought them from dusk until evening of the next day, and none of them got away, except 400 young men who rode off on camels and fled. David recovered everything the Amalekites had taken, including his 2 wives. Nothing was missing, young or old, boy or girl, plunder or anything else they'd taken. David brought everything back. He took all the flocks and herds, and his men drove them ahead of the other livestock, saying, this is David's plunder. Then David came to the 200 men who had been too exhausted to follow him, and who were left behind at the Besor ravine. They came out to meet David and the people with him. As David and his men approached, he greeted them. But all the evil men and troublemakers among David's followers said, because they did not go out with us, we will not share with them the plunder we recovered. However, each man may take his wife and children and go. David replied, no, my brothers, you must not do with what the Lord has given us. He has protected us and handed over to us the forces that came against us. And so on and so forth.